Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca. We are here once again to discuss the unrealized or yet to be realized potentials of the coming month in reading with a to be read list for March. So February I kind of skipped out on doing any sort of TBR because it's always one of my lower reading months, if not the lowest, and I needed that flexibility and openness of not having any commitments, and that worked out nicely in February. But March, there are so many events that I desperately want to participate in, and I've done my best to keep this TBR list down, so I think this is a manageable list in number, and I will still be hitting the events I want to hit. But it's also maybe not quite manageable in terms of volume, because this is definitely the month of chunkers. So let's dive into what's on my list to read for March. And as I mentioned, each of these is tied to an event, though I won't really go into too much detail. I try to make sure I leave the hashtags down below so that you can find your way to the actual announcement videos. But I will just be participating in the spirit of the event on the theme and not trying to hit lists of prompts or bingos or anything like that. Very straightforward. So the first of these was quite a surprise to myself, and that is Thorny Hold by Mary Stewart. I really don't know anything about what this book even is about. I think English countryside with some level of magic. And I love this cover. There's even a little black cat on there. But I was trying to figure out what to do for March Mystery Madness and had no really good ideas when Dia of Novel Idea reached out to me because we had talked about potentially buddy reading this earlier this year because Mary Stewart was on her list to get to, that she had kind of talked through earlier this year. And she was considering this for March Mystery Madness. And as it turns out, in fact, there's a blurb on the front that says, "Within its gates lies a world of mystery, menace, witchcraft, and love." So it does say mystery there, but I did not associate this with mystery. So we will see if this truly is mystery, but I'm counting it either way. The next one is one I really wanted to get to last year, at least to start, and things went a little sideways at the time, and I didn't wind up starting it. I really just perennially keep not getting to this, and so I have to get to this, and this is certainly appropriate for March of the Mammoths at 823 pages, and that is George Eliot's Middlemarch, so also very March appropriate. Yeah, I think this is also very like English countryside, quite a bit about interpersonal dramas and manners, social etiquette, and just the lives of people interconnecting. So I think that's mostly what it's going to be. I don't know if it has a bigger epic story or something, or a generational story. I'm not sure. And that's amazing because so many people talk about this book, love this book, and yet I really don't know what it's about. So I just need to read it because so many people love this book. Finally, you need to get to that one. Next is the Irish Readathon, and I think I've tried to participate every year since I've been on BookTube, but last year I believe I missed it. And so returning to this readathon, I'm going to try to get to The Irish RM, or Resident Magistrate by Somerville and Ross. And this was made into a TV series, which I assume this picture is from. But this is also quite chunky, yet this is only a little under 600 pages, but yet it's quite a bit larger than the 800-page Middlemarch. However, this is a bind-up of many, many stories, like nearly 40 stories. So I'm going to try to get through some of the stories, but not all of the stories in here, I think, meaning it will be somewhat more manageable. As far as I can guess, the magistrate is kind of a judge or a lawyer type job. I don't think we have that in the US, but regardless, I think this is primarily humorous rural Irish life stories from the perspective of a local magistrate. And lastly, we have my pick for both Middle Grade March, a very long-running event to read middle grade, and also March on the Moors, a brand new event started this year by Melinda at Web of Stories to focus on Brontes, reading the Brontes and Bronte retellings. And this is Glasstown Game by Catherine M. Valenti. Valenti is one of my favorite authors, and this is a backlist book. It's quite chunky for a middle grade. It's over 500 pages. So again, all chunksters this month. And this one is centering the Bronte children. So we have Charlotte, Anne, Emily, and Branwell on the cover here. And this is focusing in on a fictional version of the real game that they came up with as children to sort of create a fantastical version of the Napoleonic Wars, play acting themselves being in this as a game and as they're living through it. And so I think this is going to be really interesting, though I don't know the real history surrounding either really the Napoleonic Wars very much or their version of this game that they came up with, though multiple authors have kind of tackled this topic now. But this I'm particularly intrigued in because I love Valenti. I think this is going to be beautifully written, but her writing is often dense, so I'm a little nervous about it being this long with her writing, but I think I will enjoy it either way. It just might really take me the whole month if it reads like much of her stuff does. So we will see, but this has been on my shelves for years, and I really just need to finally pick it up. So those are the books for March that I'm planning on reading. Looks like a lot when I hold it up. This is over 2,000 pages, so we will see how much I get to in terms of these, if any, or what else I wind up picking up. I do know middle grade March, I have other things I really want to target getting to as well, though I don't know. I don't know how much energy and time I will have for reading over the month. So I am a very daunted, I think, but excited by the list that I have. This is a good amount of stuff that's sort of from my own shelves and fairly backlist work. So that's great. That's targeting goals and priorities that I have this year. Yeah. I think as well, mainly I'm just excited to see what everyone else is reading for these events. These are kind of some of the major events yearly for BookTube. March and October certainly are the really big event months for BookTube. So let me know down below if you're participating in these events and what you're prioritizing at the top of your list, because it's going to be so hard to narrow things down and will continue to be because I want to just participate in everything. So that's going to be it for my March TBR. I wish you luck in tackling your March TBR coming up, and thank you so very much for watching.